Sorry. 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 If you're offended, sorry. 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 If you're offended, sorry.
Hello, everybody. It is April 12th, and this is the Sorry If You're Offended podcast, and we have a guest today.
Been talking about it for months, finally did it.
Dakota, would you like to introduce yourself?
How's it going? I'm Dakota Festian, and I've known Scott for, 3 years now. We worked together at the training center. But I left there back in February. Now I'm the sous chef for the Brooklyn Nets. So
Hell yeah, dude. Holding it down in New York right now.
that's what I'm doing, man, in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah, that's why we definitely wanted to get you on, because how has that transition been there?
So I got here, when I moved here, I got here like maybe a month before the craziness happened. So it was cool for the first month. You know, everybody was talking about it, and people were, they were whispers and stuff, but nobody really took it seriously until it hit. They shut us down quick. We had a big A10 tournament for college basketball, and I got the notification that they canceled that, and then right after that was the NBA, the NCAA, and then we got the NBA canceled, and then the hockey canceled. So everything that we did basically was done, and then we weren't allowed to have 500 people, and then 20 people, then 10, all in this one spot. So we can't do concerts. So that's done. So they just shut us down, and making us work from home now. It's crazy. There's a lot. It's insane when you go downtown. They just put a big boat from the military, put a big hospital boat down in the New York Harbor. And our company, Levy, actually has we have the contract to help prepare foods for the people.
Everyone, food.
Yeah. And they asked me if I wanted to do it, and I was like, no, not for me.
Yeah, dude. Hell no, dude.
So what's it like in New York as a whole? It's kind of like a ghost town around here. I was out driving around last night, and there was no cars on the road, which is weird, on a Saturday night, so I can't even imagine there.
Well, honestly, where I live in Brooklyn, there's people still outside walking around, and there's people they're doing the hikes and stuff, going to the parks, but no one's really out eating. There's nobody out on the road really driving. There's no traffic really. There's still people downtown and stuff like that, but you go Times Square and stuff where it's usually packed to the brim full of people. There's nobody there. You can't go out to eat. Restaurants, the only restaurants that are open are fast food restaurants, and even then they have tape 6 feet apart on the ground. They're only allowing 5 people in the waiting room at all times. People are, if you have to wait, you'll wait outside, but no one wants to wait outside. So it's insane, man.
I was kind of wondering about that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like there's a lot more independent, small restaurants, businesses in New York than there are somewhere like here, right? So they're probably suffering big time at this point, huh?
They're suffering big time, and a lot of the things, a lot of people have pizzerias and stuff open, and it's not chain stuff. So the big chain like Popeyes and McDonald's and all them, they're fine. They're the ones that are open. But these mom and pop shops, if it wasn't for DoorDash and stuff like that, where you can order food through them and get it, they probably have no business and lose 100%. And there's a lot of places that have shut down because of it, because they just can't afford to keep it open. And even with takeout, they don't get enough traffic like that, so they are shutting down. It's quite sad. It's quite sad.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've seen the videos of Times Square and stuff where it's just desolate. There's one car driving across Times Square and no one out there.
Especially at nighttime too, because I was right before, when everybody was starting to heavy quarantine, because I feel you kind of quarantine in stages. The first stage was I should, but I think I'll be all right. And you still go out, but then it starts getting worse. And that's where I was. I'd still go out and I'd be fine. Yeah, I'm fine. But dude, I got a chest cold the other week, and I was oh, I'm dying from it. I can't do it. And I stayed in the house. I was like, I don't want to catch it. And yeah, it was a chest cold and it was a head sinus infection, but I didn't even want to risk it after that. So I've just been in my house. The only time I've left is the grocery shop, and yeah, Times Square and all that. It is actually like that. It was weird. It is desolate down there.
Yeah, like you can't risk it though, dude. Like there's so many reports now coming up of people our age or even younger that are getting it, that some people with not even health complications that are, having problems with it and shit. It's like,
And if you didn't have a good immune system, you're probably, it's catching up with you. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky. I don't have it. One of my chefs actually got it. He was out for like 2.5 weeks. He just got over it. You could still hear it in his voice. He was telling me it was like having mono and like the flu and like a cold and every sickness that you've had like all at the same time, but intensified. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to deal with that. I'm good on that. And they made us quarantine down. We had to be away from everybody for 14 days. We couldn't go in the building for 14 days. They had people in like hazmat suits come in and clean the building down after we were done. And we still don't know what's going on. It's crazy. We still don't know what's going on, really. They just keep giving us work to do from home and,
Yeah, so that's a big thing right now. I was going to ask you about, since you work for the Nets, obviously a big topic conversation is like what's going to happen with sports. Are they going to come back? When are they going to come back? What's it going to be like? You guys haven't heard anything about potential dates or anything?
we haven't heard anything yet. No, nobody knows anything. We just are playing it by ear. Whatever the higher ups are telling us is what we're going with. I think we got to kind of like think about it this way. They're going to start small. They're not going to open up stadiums and stuff right away. Risk spreading it. They'll open up restaurants, little mom and pop shops. They'll open them back up. We're going to be the last thing to open. We might even turn the Nets into like a makeshift hospital if it gets that bad. Like that's what they're doing with the Jarvis Center downtown. They turned it into like a makeshift thing where they can feed employees and stuff. So that might still be a possibility. Because there's like over 100,000 cases in New York, so it's insane, dude. And there's over 8,000 deaths so far. It jumped up, I think, like 2,600 from like 2 nights ago. So people are freaking out, man, and I don't blame them. But we haven't heard anything from anybody on when we're gonna open anything or what we're gonna do, or really across the board. Because I mean, especially with this company, we have venues all over the country, so nobody knows, and I believe as a whole company took a big hit. So,
Those are some pretty crazy numbers, and like being there, like in New York, hearing the news firsthand. Like, how is your guys' healthcare system keeping up with 100,000 cases?
Definitely, like the hospitals are crazy right now. There's a couple hospitals by where I live. They had tents and stuff set up outside so they could like treat people, and couple of my friends that are down here, they work for the ambulances, so they drive them. They have to wear like hazmat suits. They got to wear these like big masks and stuff. The hospital and the healthcare, they're taking it seriously. And I think like the people in New York are kind of taking it a lot seriously too, more seriously too. They got gloves on. Everybody that I see has face masks on, no matter what. Even if it's a scarf pulled up over their nose, they got gloves on. They're taking it seriously. The healthcare, they're doing the best they can. I think they had. The hospital, like I said, the hospitals have tents and everything set up. They got special COVID units and everything like that. They have to wash down the ambulances too and stuff after they get the victims in there, or not the victims, the people who have it. But I think they're doing a really good job. But yeah, they're bringing people all over here because we got the best doctors and stuff in the city. So they're bringing people from everywhere here, which is why it's more centralized. Plus, everybody from all over the world comes here. So.
I just read a report. They were saying that some like the major meat facilities, a lot of their workers reported that they got just within the last week had coronavirus. So they're talking about like the meat that we bought at the grocery store could even be tainted with it.
But how does that work though? Like if you cook it, does that
I don't
kill
know.
the
I have no
virus?
idea.
Dude, I don't know.
That's the first time I've ever
I don't even
heard
know
that.
about freezing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like I
right.
froze a lot of my meat, so
Yeah.
like just freezing it, just like slow it down like a fly, or does it kill it, or?
I don't know. We don't know.
I was just reading something interesting yesterday about the hospitals here and how they're actually in some hospitals are actually having to lay people off because people aren't going to the hospital for things other than coronavirus because they're so afraid of catching it. So like emergency rooms are actually like dead because nobody wants to go there for a broken ankle, and risk getting coronavirus.
Wow, that's insane. I would think that they would. Those are like people that you'd want to transfer to like the corona places. You wouldn't. You like, oh hey, we don't have enough for an emergency room, but if you want to jump over here and work with everybody else, instead of laying you off. That's insane.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're probably like, I don't want the coronavirus, so just lay me off.
See, but that's a thing too. Like, that's a legitimate concern. Like, I just know, like, when they asked me to work, I was like sitting there thinking, like, I know I said I would do anything, but like, no hospitals. That's the one thing I said. I was like, I don't want to do hospitals. I'll do anything you need, just no hospitals. And what is it? It's like a makeshift hospital. I was like, no, I ain't doing it.
Like,
I ain't doing it. I'm not exposing.
Unless you're like on death's doorstep, you don't want to go anywhere near a hospital right now.
And it's like, I live in Brooklyn. So I live, to get to the place they want me to go, it's like 45 minutes. And I'm like, I gotta be on the subway. I gotta take like 3 trains. I was like, because I didn't bring my car with me. I was like, I gotta take like 3 trains. I gotta do that both ways. It's just not worth it to me. Is
the subway still running there?
Yeah. Subways are still running. It has to. It's just too big of a city to shut down.
It's the only mode of transportation for like 90%
I know, it just
of the people there.
It just seems like it would be an incubator for disease, though. You know?
Yeah.
Well, they got really good crews and stuff here that I've seen. The subways have been clean for like the first time in forever. Like, they got people that are constantly changing the garbage. They got people that are wiping the stairwells down, the handrails, everything. You know, they're all
kicking
over
out
the
the bums,
well,
cleaning up the piss.
honestly, dude, when I moved here, like, I didn't think it was real, because I've been to New York to do the U.S. Open a few times, but I was like up in Queens, and like there wasn't really anything crazy up there. But like when I moved to Brooklyn, and like you just go down in there was this like a street. I got off at the wrong spot when I first moved here, and the smell of just piss, and just like you see rats that are the size of freaking dogs, dude. Like, it was insane, man. A rat like as big as my like fist just like runs up, and I'm like, and everybody in New York, they just stand there. They don't like look or flinch or anything.
They don't react to it at all.
They're just desensitized.
They are.
It's just part of life.
Even like crazy people come in on the subways, and they'll like sing, and they'll do stupid little like performances, or they'll yell out, or they'll be tweaking off some shit, and everybody just sits there. They just look forward with their headphones on. They don't do anything. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm just like, and I'm a big old boy, but like. These people,
does anybody see this? Does anybody else
like looking? And I'm like, I know that I'm good, but like, are you guys like? He decides to go crazy. Like, I'm throwing all y'all in front of me. I don't care. Dude, these people are insane. Well, I mean, it's cool. It's what you expect. New York is exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, the few times I've been to New York, I've stayed in Brooklyn a couple times, and every time I've been on the subway, there's been a couple times. Not much, but the couple times where you're super uncomfortable. Even like people I've been on the train with, and they just sit like across from you and just stare at you like they're gonna fucking murder you. You're just like, you don't even know what to do, dude. You're out like.
Dude, and they don't give a fuck about anything, dude. Like this one guy's trying to get on the subway, and they shut the doors. If you don't get there in time, you don't get there in time. This guy like takes his like body and like puts it between the door, and he pushes the doors open to get in. And like, so the guy sees that he's struggling, so he opens the door back up. So he like gets out just to yell. He's like, hey, stop shutting the fucking door on me, guys. He's like, what the fuck's your problem? And they like screaming back and forth at each other, except the guy is yelling over the microphone, the intercom thing, back at him. He's like, get back in the car, sir. He shuts the door on him. Dude, it's funny. The guy was fuming in the car and screaming and yelling. It was crazy, dude. New York. That's all I can say.
I've never been, unfortunately. We're supposed to be going in June, but I don't know if that's going to happen now with all this crazy shit happening.
May 1st, right? Is the end of the quarantine?
They were supposed to, but they keep pushing it back every time.
What's Michigan?
So I think they're gonna. Michigan's like the third highest right now. We're like 2 behind you guys. We're not as high as many deaths, but yeah, we're pretty bad here because people are idiots. They're not taking it seriously.
I know a lot of my friends from back home too. Like, I'll see them on Snapchat just outside, or like hanging out with like 20 people and stuff, and like all drinking together, and I'm like, it's gonna hurt you to stay home for a month. I've been home for a month. Like, it's great. I love it.
The governor just changed our thing where we're now no one's allowed to go to their second homes in Michigan. So if they own a house up north,
so you can't go up north anymore?
No, because I guess like so many people here have it that they're afraid that they're gonna go up north and spread it up there because not a lot of people in northern Michigan have it yet.
Yeah.
Like, Metro Detroit is such a hot spot, they don't want it to spread out from here.
That's insane. That's insane, dude. It's crazy how fast this thing just kind of like crept up on us, but not really because we knew about it, but we just didn't do anything about it.
I know.
We just ignored it. Like, we heard about it for like 2 months before it got here, and we're just like, oh, that Chinese virus. Okay, whatever, you know.
Yeah, and we didn't even think about it, and then boom, it's here, and now we're stuck in our house for a month. And it's already been 3 weeks.
I feel like when we started really hearing about it was like when shit started getting really bad in Italy, and it was like, okay, this thing's spreading. And
that's when we took it seriously.
We started paying attention to it at work. Even they're like, oh, Italy's got over 8,000 deaths. I was like, oh man, that's crazy.
What's scary to me is that this thing had to have been here before we even known it. Like you said, New York, so many people, before he shut down the plane from China, there were so many people flying in from China to LA, to New York, to Chicago, to these main hubs. Like, there had to have been, like, cases before. Many deaths that probably happened that they didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, they probably like, just chalked it up to pneumonia or something.
Yeah, something random.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. I know one of my friends, she was saying that back in, like, Christmas time, January area, there was she's like, I had a couple of patients that were in the hospital, like, we didn't know what was wrong with them. It wasn't a flu, it wasn't like a cold, it wasn't like anything that they've seen. They just didn't know. And all their tests came back negative, but like the person was saying, like, I'm in pain, like this is what's going on, and they didn't know. And then like 2 months later, boom. But then again, there's all these conspiracy theories about like 5G and all this stuff starting it, like people eating ass and shit. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that it's just as simple. It's gonna go away from just washing your hands and making sure things are sanitized. Like, but then again too, like we come out of this quarantine, right? What happens if we have it while we're in quarantine? Isn't it just gonna flare up again? Like after we're all allowed to like do whatever? There's all these possibilities of things.
They're trying to say it's possibly seasonal, like the flu. I did hear that. I did send Drew something. I'll send it to you too. This video by this guy named Ben Swan. He's this kind of like libertarian guy, so he's kind of, you know, neither a Democrat nor Republican, but he tied in that Dr. Fauci actually is in a some kind of group that's tied in with Bill Gates. They're on a board together.
Well, I know Bill Gates like stepped down right before all this popped off. He's like, "Yeah, all right, peace out. I'm gonna take my billions and just go."
Well, yeah, Bill Gates straight up predicted this like 2 years ago, and then again like 2 months ago.
And they're saying how Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates keep saying the only way to solve this is with a cure. Like they need to find an antivirus for it.
But that's going to take like a year.
The big theory is that one of these they're going to make money off of the antivirus company, whatever the company is that distributes. They say no matter what happens, we're never going to be until we find an antivirus. This is always going to be around, is what they say. It's going to be worse than the flu.
That's insane. That's insane.
I think because of that, like even when the quarantines start to get lifted, it's going to be such a slow transition back to life.
Oh yeah.
Like it's going to be one of those things where people are going to be given the option to come back because it's so dangerous. You know what I mean?
But like that's the thing too. Like, are you going to take that option because you need money? So I would think, yeah. I know my mom. She's a school teacher. They shut school, her school down. They canceled the rest of the year on her. They were going to bring them back for like a month. They just straight up canceled school for the rest of the year and everything. They're going to make them wait out. So I don't know. And she said something too, kind of like what you're saying. Like she has the option to come back next year if she really wants to. And I'm like, I would take it. You need it, right? Yeah.
I feel like, but when you were 18, did you feel like that?
No.
When I was 18, I was like, dude, that was enough school.
Not just that. People who are high risk, you know, like, is it worth it?
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I don't work around. I don't work around a lot of like high risk people. I don't work around a lot of old people. I don't work around super young people. But you know, even like when these like basketball players and stuff start getting it, and they're like the picture of health and stuff like that, like it's kind of concerning to me. Like it's really off limits. Like who am I? I'm some like fat piece of shit who smokes cigarettes. Like I should be the one that's getting it. You know what I mean? And like 100%. These health people are getting it, and I'm just like sitting here freaking out in my apartment in the middle of like the area where it's like the worst, and I'm just like, huh. The only thing that's stopping this is this window being closed right now. I don't even trust it.
No, I feel the same way. Like it's kind of scary. Like my office where I work, we're like packed in like sardines in there. There's so many fucking people in that building at any given time. Like and it's fucking filthy. Like honestly, just because there's so many people there all the time, it's like it's impossible for them to keep it sanitized when we are open and functioning. So like going back before I know that this thing is over with is kind of scary, honestly.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, especially, I know even for food service, the way that we even like have to serve food and stuff now, it's forever changed. Like, we can't do like self-service anymore. Like, I can't do a carving station and serve you food. Like, I have to have everything prepackaged now. We have to hire people just to serve you food now. You can't come up and spoon some like beans or whatever on your plate. We have to have people do it for you. Like, everything for food is changing. Even the way that we have to do things, you know, menu wise and stuff we have to come up with is all about like, how can we package this up the best way possible? How can we like take the people touching aspect out of it completely? Like, it's crazy, dude. Food service, especially the food industry itself, is going to be changed forever, I believe, off this. Just the way that you have to handle and prepare food you can't do it like you used to anymore now. Especially with all this.
I already heard people talking about just the handshake going away. No more handshakes when you business meetings or anything. You know, it's maybe like bowing like Japanese people do it, or just like no more handshakes, no more contact.
But you gotta think about what even got us to this point. Like, what have we done? We haven't done anything different, you know, like that we haven't been doing for the last thousands of years, you know. Like, handshakes have always been a thing. Like, viruses have always like come and gone, you know, but like, and we've always learned from it. But like, what did we do to even like get to this point? Like, that's what I really want to know. Like, where did this start? Like, what? I don't think somebody was eating bats and then like got sick from eating bats. I don't think that it's from not washing my hands and being in your personal space. Now you have a virus. Like, I don't know. Like, this is all fishy to me, dude. Like, it all came up like out of nowhere.
Dude, me too. I think there's a lot of questioning things about it. It's like really scary. Like, I think it could have, the whole thing could have been a way to just topple the whole world economy. Like,
and it's an election year.
Yeah.
So like, there's like all these things that are playing in my mind, and I'm like, whoa, okay.
Part of me thinks that they've been like trying to do this for a long time and they finally got it right. Like, you think about it, like every 2 years there was a different virus. For how long? We had bird flu, we had swine flu, we had SARS, we had West Nile. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've been trying to find the right one and they finally got it right with COVID. That's how part of that.
And think about the ironic part that the timing of this is so perfect. Like, we're in the 21st century where people can stay home and still kind of not be bored. Like, you can watch Netflix. Like, imagine this happening in 1990 when we had no internet, no nothing.
Not just that, kind of like what Dakota was saying. Like, this has changed how businesses function, like, in a profound way. Because there are companies that are actually doing better. My company had their biggest month ever the first month we were working from home. Think about that. That's fucking insane.
It is insane. And, like, the online industries and stuff like that, even, like, I think, I mean, I obviously I don't think, because this is all conspiracy, but, like, think about it, like, all the brick and mortar stuff is, like, going away now. Everything's moving to the internet. Like, now you can get your clothes online. You don't need to go to the malls. You don't need to go to restaurants to get your food. Like, I feel like, and you don't need to go to movie theaters anymore. You don't need to do all this public gathering stuff. You can just do it all at home.
You don't even need to go to the grocery store. You can pay somebody to go get your groceries for you.
I just think that, like, if there was a way to change the world this in a drastic way, this is probably the way to do it. I mean, it's crazy, dude. People don't care.
Yeah, how easy is it to manipulate people when you're keeping them apart, you know?
And killing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
100%.
It's insane. There's so much like gray area with whatever's going on. So it to me it's just kind of like, it's just fishy. Just fishy, you know?
Well, there's just like no information. That's the thing about it, is like I don't want to automatically jump to the conspiracy theories, but I feel like this has been going on for so long, and we've not heard anything new about it other than how many people are sick and dying in so long. You know what I mean? Like, no new information, no new precautions, no new, you know, theories about what's causing it to spread. Like you said, it's just like we're all just kind of sitting on our hands.
And you know, damn well know that if this was a weapon, the last thing the government is going to tell us was that this was a weapon that was unleashed to kill everybody. They're going to tell you that it came from a bat that some Chinese guy ate. They're not going to freak everyone out they're not going to tell you the truth.
No, not at all. Dude, and like that's why even like when people are saying stuff about like the 5G and stuff like that, as much as I don't want to believe conspiracy theories, like the ones on these, like you gotta like look at it and be like, there's kind of truth to it. You know what I mean? I don't think that like 5G, but like even the stuff behind the 5G, they're saying like when you manipulate like the fields and radiation and stuff like that you have to manipulate with, the different things. Like this one, they said like messes with people on like an internal level, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's something about like the size of the waves that it bounces. Like it penetrates through your organs more than like the traditional longer waves. Wasn't that what it was? You sent me a video about that, Scott, didn't you?
Yeah. It definitely. I think it basically just like spikes your cancer. It like it like fucks with your body where like any cancer cells you have, it just like makes them like turn on like right away.
See, and I'm good on that. I don't. 4G's fast enough for me, man. I'm like I don't need all that. But
yeah, basically the 4G towers and all the towers now are really high and they work like above us. When they do 5Gs, it's gonna be the 5G things are gonna be like hooked up to our houses and they're gonna be closer together. Like everyone's gonna have them, so it'll be faster because it's like basically I'm connecting to the house next to me that's connecting. You know what I'm saying? It's like a big chain link, but it's on our level. It's not above us like radio waves or anything else that they shoot high in the air. Like this is gonna be ground level.
That's insane, dude. But like it's just there's so much gray area around everything that's going on that obviously as humans we try to look for like a rational answer. There's just nothing rational about what's going on right now. People are getting sick, people are dying, and it's spreading like crazy. But you got those people that are like, oh well, if you look at the flu and all this other stuff and people are dying from other diseases. Yeah, people are dying from other diseases, but like this literally just like happened and now we have thousands of people dead.
Dude,
like
the amount of shit that I see posted on social media from people that like to that effect that just still downplaying COVID or like bitching about these stay in place orders and stuff like that. It is just like, it's astounding to me how ignorant someone can be. Like you just said, people are getting sick, people are dying. These numbers are skyrocketing and no end in sight, and people are pissed because they can't fucking go to the bar.
Yeah. People want to go to the bar so bad, and that's what they're freaking out about. Like,
right.
Just get drunk at home. You can still go outside. You can still ride your bike. You can still, like, stay away. You can still, like, you don't have to stay in your home. But it's kind of hard to want to leave the house when the compelling evidence is, like, people are really getting sick out here. There's more, like I said, last 2 days, 2,400 cases jumped up from, like, 6,400 to, like, 8,400 deaths. Like, I see that. It doesn't make me want to go outside because, like, it's like that movie with Mark Wahlberg. Like, outside's trying to kill you. Like, I'm good. And I just see, like, all these people that are trying to downplay it. And I'm like, how stupid do you got to be? Like, here's the hard evidence right in front of your face. People are here.
I see it every day, and I see people pushing the conspiracy theories to the extreme, of, oh, they're just taking away our rights. And it's like, no, motherfucker, this is what we have to do to survive. Like, people are dying.
I don't think that. I think that, like, it doesn't seem real because it hasn't affected us. Like you were saying, Scott, like, we have the internet. Like, we have everything to keep us entertained. Like you said, back in the 90s, we would have been screwed because there was really nothing to do. But, like, I think that's why it doesn't feel real because, like, we can escape. We don't have to deal with it. If we don't have it, we don't have to worry about it. We're in our homes. We're watching our movies. We're good. We got our food.
We're in our own little world.
I got DoorDash coming at 8. Like, we're good. I don't have to worry about anything. But, like, the people that are out there, and that's why, like, the medical professionals and the people that have to work and the people that have to actually be out there, when they're, like, telling me, like, oh, no, this is a shit show, dude. Like, do not leave. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, you're safe at home. Like, that's the people that I'm going to be listening to. I'm not going to listen to some, like, dude from high school that wants to get drunk at the bar.
Yeah, and posts on Facebook, this is fake. None of this is real.
Like, if I have to stay home for a few months in order to, like, be safe, then I'll stay home. I'm good.
Right.
They messed up all my traveling. Like, I was going to do the Kentucky Derby. They had to move that. I was going to do the Indy 500. They moved that. Like, it's messed up all my stuff, but honestly, I'd rather be safe than risk it. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, dude. Even my grandma, my grandma, she drove. Where was she at? She was in South Carolina last week visiting my parents. She drove all the way home to Michigan, and I called her on the phone and I was like yelling at her. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, you should have just stayed with mom. She's like, oh, I didn't want to be cramped up in that house with nothing to do. I was like, so you decided to drive all the way across the country as an old lady? I was like, you're gonna get sick. I was like, you're lucky you didn't get sick. I was like, why would you risk that? She just didn't care. I think a lot of the thing is people just don't really care, you know?
Yeah, especially the old people, dude. My grandpa's the same way. I talked to my dad. My grandpa's gone to the store every day to buy things, just random things. Instead of going once and buying a lot of stuff, he's like, "Oh, I forgot this. I gotta go." Every day he's gone to the store.
They get bored,
dude. You're 85 years old.
Exactly. My grandma's 78 years old. She doesn't need to be driving. First of all, she doesn't need to be driving like that, and she doesn't need to be driving during a pandemic. She just does whatever she wants. But that's how it is. Even my dad. My dad's 60, and he got so devastated when they shut Home Depot and Lowe's down. And he's like, I can't do anything. I'm sitting at home. All I'm doing is watching TV. And he's like, I can't. He's building things in his garage that he can't go get materials because it's shut down. And he's all pissed off. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Never thought this was ever going to happen.
Part of me thought, I don't know if you guys seen, a couple weeks ago, we had this big meteor shower with a whole bunch of meteors that came into our atmosphere. Part of me thought this whole entire thing was fake just to keep us in our houses because we were going to get hit with a big asteroid and they didn't want people to be freaking out.
But didn't they say that it passed safely or something like that?
Yeah. There was 4 or 5 of them that were really big.
Jesus.
I get to see the government doing that. They're locking us in our houses saying it's something, but it's really something else. What if we're actually this is the Cold War era, we're a country threatened to nuke us, so they just want all of us in our houses, and they're like, hey, everyone go in their houses.
So just gonna pacify us until we die.
Yeah, and they're just telling us it's something else, but it's really we're at nuclear war with someone. We're about to be they're just in talks of killing each other.
See, and that part scares me, man, because I live in New York and I've seen the movies, and they always hit me first. I don't want to die first, man. I don't want to die first.
Dude, don't worry, we're all gonna die together. It'll be pretty damn quick, if that's the case.
I hope so, dude. But man, it's just, this is all insane, dude. I never thought in a million years any of this would ever happen, but here we are.
I don't even know what to do anymore, really. Like you said, I started doing projects, and same thing. I haven't gone to Lowe's. I'm the last few days I've lost my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I was holding up pretty good, but now it's I got nothing to do. I've been reading, I've been watching TV shows, and I just
yeah,
going crazy.
And that's all there is to do right now, man. There's nothing and it even sucks for me because I can't even go outside and enjoy a new city that I'm in because boom, I'm locked in. So I don't know my that's kind of freaking me out too. Is I really don't know. I don't know my surroundings yet. You know.
Yeah.
I know how to get to work. I know how to get home. That's it.
I was just gonna ask, outside of the subway thing, is other aspects of the New York travel? Because I know you guys do taxis and shit a lot. Is that still happening there? Because I know there's no Ubers or anything here.
They still have taxis and Ubers. I've personally been in an Uber. This guy took a big plastic sheet and he covered the front half of his car, and he even around the seats and the little thing he perfectly airtight. He covered it, and you can only sit in the back seat, and they've definitely they've cut down. I haven't seen for me to get an Uber the other day, because I had to run up to my job real quick to go pick up some computer stuff. It took them 25 minutes for them to find me an Uber, when usually before that it would all right, I pressed it, he'll be here in 5 seconds. And then I get in there and it's all covered in plastic. And the buses and stuff still run, the subways still run, everything mass transit wise still runs. I think a few subway lines they're only going to essential spots though. They're not hitting every little
every
stop. They put them on the express, which works for me, but for some others it sucks because you have to walk a few blocks to get to wherever you need to get to then, which then kind of sucks too because you're exposed. But I right now the travel system in New York is still okay. But I know that if it was like anything more serious, they'd probably have to shut that down, which would suck because then there'd be no way for me to get around or anybody to get around. Because a lot of people don't have cars.
Yeah, man, I was just thinking, like you said, you're there. Like, I would, even though, like, we're locked up and, like, we're not allowed to leave, just the fact that I'm here and, like, I know where Drew lives and I know where you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in that vicinity. I would be freaked out, like you said, just, like, you're just in a whole new city with, like, even though you can't see someone, it's just nice to know that they're, like, someone you know is close. Like, that's got to be freaking out.
Exactly. And I've been FaceTiming all my friends like crazy, too. I've been, like, calling everybody. Because just to, like, for my sanity, talk to somebody. Because, like, sitting alone in your house isn't ideal. But I've been calling all my friends. And, yeah, it just kind of sucks that, like, I can't go out and make sure that people are okay because I'm far away from them. It's sad, but it's whatever. Hopefully this all passes over. Or not passes over, but gets, more manageable so I can, like, actually explore. But if it gets bad enough, like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
All we can do is be hopeful. Hopefully this shit turns around for everything, businesses, us.
Hope so.
It's gonna be a wild few months, no matter what happens next.
Do you think it's going to go through the summer?
I think it's going to go
Do I
longer
think what?
than what they're saying. I think it's going to go. I don't think it's going to stop.
Yeah.
That's my fear.
I don't think it's going to stop.
I absolutely think it's going to be like into the summer before we see like real like things really return to being, filled with people and stuff like that because it's going to take time to die out.
Doesn't it take like a year to find a cure though?
It takes a year and a half for them to be able to for the cure to go through because they got to test it. But the scary thing to me is, I think it's going to come to a point where the economy is going to be doing so bad that they're just going to open it. Like they're going to tell you everything's fine. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Like I can see them being like, oh yeah, we got the spike already happened. Don't worry. Or the season's over. Don't worry. And they're going to send us back out there because they know they have to because
they need the work to be done.
Yeah.
But like, and then like those $1,200 that they're going to give us, what's that really going to do though?
Nothing.
Like $1,200 in the grand scheme of things, not that much. It's just like, hey, putting a Band-Aid on like a stab wound. Like, here you go. We tried. $1,200 ain't gonna do nothing. It won't even pay some of my bills. That's not even gonna cover rent. So.
Well, there's gonna be. I mean, it's inescapable that there's gonna be a huge recession. I was just talking about this yesterday with a buddy of mine because, like so many people are out of work right now and they're like turning to like forbearance and deferment for their rent and their mortgage payments and stuff. But they don't realize that all that means is when this shit does end. And we do get back to some semblance of normalcy, like whether it's 3 months from now or even longer, there's going to come a day where they're just going to say, hey, that whole bill is due in full.
Yeah.
And nobody's making the money right now to pay it. So what's going to happen then? You know what I mean?
Exactly. You're just going to have to pay it.
What they need to do, though, is every company, like every month that we go off, they just need to take that month, erase it, and then just tie it to the end. Like, say you have a 24-month contract or whatever. They should make it 25 months, and that, let's say it was the 12th month that happened, then the 12th month just gets pushed to 25. Like, they should just push it, you know what I'm saying? Like, extend it where you don't have to pay it all at once, but they just add the extra months to the end.
I mean, that's a
or however
that's
many.
A possibility short term, but like it's like we were talking about last week, Scott. Like that's finite because these companies still have to have revenue coming in order to continue to function. So that we don't start to see huge businesses going out of business and people losing homes because of it. You know what I mean? They have to be able to sustain that note because at the end of the day, if you have a mortgage, it's guaranteed somewhere on the stock market or something. And like that note has to be able to be sustained even if you can't personally pay it right now.
Yep. Which sucks. And all those people are going to get all those loans recalled and then everything's going to be screwed and our economy's going down the toilet no matter what.
Oh, it's going to be awful. It's going to be huge. Home values are going to plummet, everything.
There's nothing good coming from this. Nothing good. And then, they got people that are going to be put in I don't trust Trump. I don't trust Biden. Neither of them, I think, are going to do a good job at trying to deal with this.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because that was like one big thing that I wanted to make sure we talked about this week because obviously the huge news is that Bernie's gone. So the whole game has changed.
The whole game's changed. I don't trust either of them. And not like you can say whatever you want about, their personal whatever. At the end of the day, like I Donald Trump for sure has proven to us that he can't lead, and he's never shied away from the fact that he doesn't know. He's just stupid. But then you got Joe Biden, who I feel like he's a puppet right now. I feel like he's being directed to do what he's doing and say what he's saying and be the way. And like I feel like that when he snapped at the auto worker in Detroit, like that was kind of like his true color. I feel like that was his true color. Like that's how he actually is. Like,
oh, I think you're 100% right, and I think that like the people who are saying things about him having like dementia and stuff, I think that that's 100% a valid concern too, because we get him into office, like even if he's not that bad right now, there's no way we're gonna get 4 years out of him.
No, not at all.
So who does he pick as his VP?
Not 4 good years.
Who is our next president is who he picks as his VP. And that's fucking scary. That means we have no say in it. You know what I mean?
Who do you think that he would pick?
They're talking about Gretchen, dude. Gretchen is high up there.
No.
No.
What about Michelle? It's going to be a woman. No matter what, it's going to be a woman.
It's got to be a woman. That's the way that I feel like that's the only way that you could beat Trump is with a woman. But
hey, you ready? This is going to be the most ironic thing. You know who it's going to be?
Hillary.
It's going to be fucking Hillary, dude. And then he's going to die from coronavirus in the middle of the fucking office, and then Hillary is going to finally win.
We haven't heard anything from Hillary Clinton this whole entire political season.
I know.
We haven't heard anything.
Exactly. She's going to sneak in there right at the end.
That was probably a calculated move.
Yeah, like we haven't even heard from her even in the news or anything. Like it seems like she's kind of just like fell off the face of the earth. That's crazy.
Maybe she did that on purpose because all the controversy last time, and she didn't want it to be about her and Trump again. You know what I'm saying?
She's using Biden as a puppet.
I feel like
the whole DNC is using Biden as a puppet.
The whole DNC is exactly, and they wanted to. And I was so pissed off with how they did Bernie again. But like, you can't corrupt Bernie. Bernie is uncorruptible to me. Like he's gonna stick to his guns no matter what. Whatever he thinks is right.
Yeah,
and he's proven.
Yeah,
I know, but that's his thing though. Is he still shouldn't have coincided, dude. He should have stuck out to the end. Because if he fought for all this is the time we need him, especially with the coronavirus. We need him now more than ever. And he's going to just be like, all right, well, I have no chance, so just vote for Biden. I'd rather you vote for Biden than Trump.
Yeah. You need somebody that's going to that's going to be like cool, calm, and collected in that office, which a lot of people have been talking about Cuomo running for office. He's like, because he could still like get in there.
Yeah.
He's through this whole thing, he's been like, kind of like a solid like rock of like sanity, and people.
Did you also see he has nipple rings?
Does he really? I didn't know that.
No, there was a video of him like when he was passing stuff out, and he had like that white shirt on, and there was like it showed his nipples, and it looked like he had a nipple ring. So it was a big news story that he has nipple rings.
That's funny.
But yeah, he's been legit, dude.
He has been.
He has.
And he was early
hey,
on everything. And...
Hey, if Biden wanted to lock this thing up right now, you know what he would do?
What would he do?
Make Bernie his VP.
But the thing is, it's like, why would you want that? Because that'd be a
100% guaranteed victory.
It would be a 100% guaranteed victory, but
that could be why Bernie actually dropped out too, though.
There's no way that Bernie would not want to be the president. He would not want to be the vice president.
I think Bernie has too much integrity to work underneath Biden because, like you said, I really think Biden is corrupt, and I think Bernie knows that.
But I also think he sees that Biden has dementia, and eventually people are going to be like, "Yo."
But Bernie's not that far behind him, though. Bernie's old up there, too. They're all old. Donald Trump's in his, late
Bernie's
70s.
old as fuck, too. He is, but he's got a little bit more wits about him.
Yeah. But I don't think that he would work under Biden. Like I said, he's uncorruptible, and he does not want to work under somebody corrupt. And the DNC knows that, which is why the last 2 elections they've pushed him out and done everything that they could possibly do to get him out of there. So,
but that...
Oh, it's 100% not going to... Yeah, it's 100% not going to happen.
Yeah,
but it would be a smart play.
Yeah,
that could be his exact reason why doing it though is because he wants to keep Biden in check. So if he doesn't become vice president and Biden has someone else, it's going to be even more corrupt than if he was there to keep Biden in check.
But do you think Biden
would
actually
like art of war
do it?
shit? You got to keep your enemies closer. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think Biden
keep your
would
friends
actually
close,
do
keep your
anything in
enemies
office?
closer?
Or do you think Biden would just have people like he would be the puppet master? People would kind of like run through him and sign this, pass this, help me get this, and I feel like
but I still think Bernie would be there to call him out and shit.
Yeah, I think Bernie should have won, man. I really liked him. I really liked Bernie. I was really upset that he conceded. But they're saying something too about like I conceded, but I'm still not out. You could still vote me in, and blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah, he's still on all the ballots.
but like, why would you drop out then?
I think he wanted to just look like a bigger man, so maybe that people would still
He
vote for
he
him.
would look like the bigger man if he stayed in, because he'd be like, I don't care what is going on. I'm gonna try to fight this guy till the end. Like, because all they did was guarantee Donald Trump's second election. It's really all they did. Because in the face of this danger, if you have a choice between Donald Trump, who he's bad, but he's been in power for the last 4 years, or Joe Biden, people don't trust him, people don't like him, and just because you were Barack Obama's vice president doesn't make you cool. And I feel like he's trying to use 100%. That too. He's trying to use like, I was vice president with Barack Obama. We liked Barack Obama, but we and you were great when you were with him, but that was also, 4 years ago, and you got a lot of.
I think you're 100% right. I think in the face of all this crazy stuff that's happening, it's better the devil you know, and that's how it's gonna play out.
Yeah, it's kind of like Roosevelt, World War II. They just kept him in power because there was an emergency going on.
Me and Scott talked about this last week. It's just like George W. Bush, like
after 9/11. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, his approval ratings just like went straight up. Well, it's because he like stood tall and like, I got this. We're gonna do this together, America. And like Donald Trump, say what you want about him, but he really gets like the voters that he's going for. He's not going for people like us who have rational thoughts, who can sit here and be like, okay, this is why. He's going for the people who are like, I see no way out. I'm in the middle of the country. The only thing that there is for me to do is fuck my cousin and smoke meth. And here we go.
I wonder what part of the country you're talking about.
Kentucky. he's going for like middle America. Like that's what he's going for. He's going for like, the coal mining companies. He's going for the heavy auto industry. People that are like, they depend on things being open. He's going for them, Oh
yeah.
That's who's voting.
What I never got was the whole coal mine thing. Like, I get people like have heritage and they want to keep stuff going, and I get that's like their only way of like life down there. But you would think that they would like be able to see that, hey, we could do a different kind of energy down here that's more sustainable, that wouldn't kill us. If we could bring more jobs here, we can make it a bigger city.
Yeah, but
expand,
think about how big of a fucking industry the coal industry is. You think it's just going to shut down?
Because I feel like when it's like so institutionalized, when it's so like deeply enriched in like the blood of you, like, and like you do it, and your dad did it, your grandpa did it, and the grandpa before him did that. Like when there's like a certain level of, because Americans are prideful, How many times do we do things the least efficient way just because it's our way? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I feel like is going on there. You go to West Virginia. You go to like Pennsylvania, you go to like parts of like Tennessee and stuff, you go to all that area, Virginia and everything, like it's all coal mines. One of my friends from college, his family made millions and millions and millions of dollars off of owning coal mines. And like he's got like deep money. Like those people don't want them to shut down because then they lose all that money. And yeah, you can invest into solar power, you can invest into wind, you can invest into water, but what we know here in America is coal. What we know, they're not going to give that up. You know what I mean? Who cares if you die from black lung? You made me my money. You know what I mean?
Well, for the people who are actually doing the work, they know the risk when they get into it because, like you said, it's generational. Like everybody in their family probably died from black lung, but it's what they have to do to survive or to put food on the table.
I know, but you would just still think though that there would be someone to be like, hey, I got a better idea, guys, that won't kill all of us. We could bring in a different energy and then start building this town up where there's other jobs instead of McDonald's.
But like he just explained though,
Walmart.
Like he just explained though, these people who are controlling this industry, who are making the money off it, they're never going to let that happen.
I know. It's same thing like tobacco industry and all that stuff, and the cotton industry with the hemp industry and how they shut down hemp. Like I get it, but
yeah. They control the people.
We now live in such a time of, I guess, information and disinformation. You would still think,
hey,
That's what's so crazy
But
about
you got to think about it
information
too. The
disinformation.
people who have the most money control what goes on.
Yeah, as I say,
The people that are lining the politicians' pockets, the people that are lining the president's pockets are tobacco industries, oil industries, coal mining industries, the electric and the water and the wind and all that stupid whatever. Not stupid, but like whatever. Like they're not really getting. Yeah, we got some government funding and we're trying to like look better, getting into electric cars. But like our bread and butter is still like shipping. It's still coal. It's still using gas. It's still tobacco. It's still like all these things that we like try to export because we don't make anything in here anymore. So like we still the companies that are making us money are the companies that are gonna, the president and all of them are gonna have those interests at heart when they make decisions. And yeah,
I think that's something that should change after this, is the fact that we don't make a lot of the stuff here anymore.
I feel like it should be. I mean, we have everybody in the world to do it. I don't see why not. It's just cheaper because we can ship it to China and get something made for 20 cents, where it's here you have to it's made for $1.
Yeah, but the irony about that is the same people that are shipping shit to China to get it shipped back here are the ones complaining about fucking global warming, yet they're sending ships across the ocean just so they can make a fucking buck.
Money talks, man. Money is the root of all evil for a reason.
I know.
Money talks. You got more. If you got more money, then then whatever. Then if you got more money than me, you're more important to me. That's pretty much what it is, and that's like institutionalized in us.
Speaking of money, have you guys heard of the gold back?
No, what's that?
like the gold standard.
It's this. No, it's a new. Well, it's kind of like the gold standard, but it's a new thing that they're doing in a few states, like Utah. I think they're going to try to implement it in New Hampshire. But it's an actual piece of currency that they printed. It's a piece of paper that has gold inside of it.
Oh wow!
So it actually has worth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just paper. So like the gold inside of it backs it. So it's kind of like the gold standard. And they're talking about that could be the future of money. And it's actually implemented in like 4 or 5 states already.
Oh really?
Really?
That's interesting.
How do they implement it in the states when all of our currency is federal?
Because they have to go and buy it. So they buy it with federal money and they accept it in stores and everything.
Oh, okay, I got you. So stores are it's like something separate outside of our current monetary system.
Yeah,
But
so
haven't
they
they been
can still
trying to
use
do
money.
something like that for years? Like have a different currency and stuff? Like I feel like cryptocurrencies and everything online, like
I was gonna say, it sounds like a physical form of like Bitcoin, because there were stores that were accepting that for a while.
Yeah.
but like what is money? Like I don't even use the cash anymore. I just go straight off my debit card. So like to me, like
Well, yeah, that's what I fully expect the future to be, is just digital currency.
Yeah, but for the people that don't want their shit tracked, though.
Hey, you know what's
And
funny
that's
about
Bitcoin.
You know what's weird about that though? Like with this pandemic that's going on, I found myself like at the grocery store like wanting to use cash because I don't want to touch the pin pad on the debit card machine. So like I have been using cash more for the last 5 weeks than I probably have in the last 5 years.
yeah.
And they tell you, that's what's funny to me is though, is they told you not to use cash because cash is so dirty that could be spreading the disease itself. Did you hear about that? Like,
Yeah,
all
I've heard
the
that.
residue on cash. What if that was the whole point, is just to get everyone to stop using cash so they can just track everybody's fucking purchases, dude?
Well, like I said, I'd rather use
Government
cash.
conspiracy.
I'd rather use the cash that I pulled out of the ATM than put my fingers on the pin pad. People were like doing God knows what with their hands before I got there, you know.
No, I agree.
Dude, I was at the grocery store the other day. I was buying a whole bunch of food and stuff, and there was like this woman in front of me, and I swear to God, like right before she typed in her pin pad, I watched her like pick a wedgie, and I was like,
That's disgusting.
I was like, I was gonna use my debit card too. I was like, nope, went straight cash.
Main question. Did she pick the wedgie inside or outside of the pants?
It was
Did
outside.
she go deep? Oh, she didn't go gold digging?
It was outside, but believe me, if you had saw this woman, it didn't make it any better.
Make a difference. Oh, gross.
Dude, it was so nasty. Like I had my debit card in hand, and I was instantly just like, nope, back in the wallet. Like,
I ain't even messing with it. No. That's insane, dude. But yeah,
Have you guys noticed how dirty it is? That's the one thing that pisses me off about this, is everywhere I go, I see that people have just thrown their trash everywhere.
yeah, I was reading something about that. That's like a huge problem in Michigan. Is people are like wearing disposable masks and gloves, and then like not wanting to take them home, so they're just throwing them in parking lots.
Yeah, dude, I've been fucking like if you go over by Sam's Club on Northline in the street, dude, there's just trash everywhere. There's trash all down my street. I feel like I'm in like Los Angeles or something. Like I don't know, like or even New York, where it used to be trash everywhere. Like,
dude, honestly, in New York, their trash days here, they take their garbage bags and they throw them on the corner. And then the trucks come, right? And if they grab the bags, they grab the bags. And if they don't, well, then they're there for another week. Or, like, when they grab them, they don't really care if, like, the bag is open. So, like, when it gets all condensed, like, particles of trash just float and then land on the street, and it's just there. And they don't sweep it up. They don't clean up after themselves. It's insane, man. Even, like, down in Manhattan and everything, too, they do it the same way. They just throw the trash on the street. It's crazy, dude. I've never been in a place like that. Usually it's like I take the garbage, I put it at the corner, and then they come and get it, and I bring my trash cans in. Like, that's it. But it's insane here, dude. They do things so differently. And they wonder why everybody's sick. This city is dirty. There's rats everywhere. Everything smells like piss. There's homeless people sleeping on sidewalks, eating and shitting in the corner. Like, they got trash all over the ground. Like, this city is filthy. I moved into this apartment. I cleaned from head to toe. Like, I don't care, like, what it was. Even if they, like, set it up for me, I scrubbed everything down in this apartment when I moved in here. I didn't trust anything. Nothing.
oh yeah, you can't.
Yeah. And you get, like... And I got sick differently out here. Because, like, when I moved here, like, you have to, like, adjust to wherever you go. I got, like, the first, like, 2 weeks of me being here, I got hit with, like, every different, like, sickness of, like, colds and sinus infections, chest colds, and flus and all this watery eyes, and my cat's messing up something right now. But yeah, dude, I just kept getting sick and I had to adjust here. But it's insane to me how not clean human beings are and how much they just don't care about living in their own shit. Literally.
Yeah. Oh, crazy thing, man.
It's all crazy, man.
Crazy times.
We do live in a very crazy time. Very crazy time. What are we going to think in like 20 years when we look back on this?
Did you guys see the like the new Facebook trend of everyone posting their high school photos, their prom pictures and their graduation photos to honor the class of 2020 that wasn't able to graduate?
Oh yeah,
No.
I've seen that.
That's like a Facebook thing right now. Everyone's posting their old photos from when they were in high school, from their prom, because they didn't get to do their prom this year, and from your graduation, because they didn't get to do graduation.
Do
The
they
last
really?
thing people want to see that didn't get to fucking go to graduation and prom is fucking their parents' prom and fucking
You
graduation.
don't want to see me from high school. I was horrible looking in high school.
Yeah.
I had no beard.
You think that's going to make them feel better?
No.
That they didn't have one? Them looking at your old one?
Maybe it's just me, but like I remember our graduation, like our commencements, as being like the worst fucking thing ever.
You had to sit there for like 3 hours.
Dude, it was so goddamn hot too. You remember that, Scott?
Yeah.
And we stayed up till like 4 a.m. the night before.
That's insane.
Getting drunk.
Yeah, it was bad.
They stuck me in the front row of my commencement because the principal didn't like me. So they stuck me in the very front row of my commencement thing in the middle of the aisle where everybody had to walk. So I got done first. I got my diploma first. I had to sit there. I had, 346 kids in my class? I had to sit there for 345 other people to get their diploma. And then our valedictorian guy gave a speech, and he went through, it's a stereotypical speech of every single letter in the alphabet. So 26 letters and what this means. And, every letter had a different meaning. It was stupid. I sat there for 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. In a soccer arena in Pontiac. I don't ever want to go there again. Don't do that. Why would you want to live there? If you were in high school right now and you didn't have to finish your school year and it was all online and you're done, would you really care about walking across the stage and get a piece of paper that means nothing?
I'd be stoked.
I'd be sick.
Yep.
All right, I'm done. I get to stay home, do my computer classes, and when I'm done with that, I graduate. Cool.
Wait, I didn't have to go to college just because they're all closed? Sweet, man.
Exactly. Which is another bad thing. They're of them keeping us inside. But, I don't know. I really don't think that's... I don't also think that I'd want somebody to look at me from 10 years ago and then see me now. Just another way of the government, man, trying to get more facial recognition, man.
Yeah, man, they want to get those comparison shots so they can map you for the future.
This is where you're gonna go when you look like you're 60. And then like with those Snapchat filters, like with the old man, like you turn into an old man or like a boy or a girl or a baby or whatever. And I'm like looking at myself as an old man in this filter, thinking like, yo, this is like actually what I would look like as an old man. Because I see my dad and I look just like my dad. I look just like my dad looks when he's 60, as I look in that Snapchat filter. So it's like crazy to me, like how accurate things are, and like you just give your facial recognition and your thumbprint and everything so like easily now. It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
crazy.
we're just a code, and I think they got it figured out. They figured out our genetic code, and they're not letting us know. This is just a test to see what we would do in this situation.
We're humans, man. What are we gonna do?
And I'm gonna tell you right now, as Americans, we failed.
Yeah, big time.
Humans are. It's
If this was anything worse, we would literally.
Are easy to control. Just give us food, let us fuck something, and give us entertainment. Like that's all we need. That's it. It's easy to control us. Shout out to Pornhub for free, premium.
Second week. We talked about that last week.
It's
I
huge
still haven't
news.
signed up. I still need to sign up and test it out.
They're doing a good justice to America. And then you're gonna stay signed up. So after all this is done, you're not gonna undo your subscription.
Well, that's it. That's how they get you, right? They get to give you for free now. Then you're gonna get used to it, and you're gonna be like, oh, what's $10 a month?
Yeah, $9.99. Nothing. I pay
Very-
$11 for
very-
Netflix.
Yeah, very
Just like
discreetly billed.
Netflix.
Discreetly billed. That's how they're gonna get you, man. But they're doing a good justice for people. Good for them. I'm proud of them.
All right. Well, we've been going for an hour, you guys. It's been another good episode of Sorry If You're Offended podcast.
I want to say thank you to Dakota for joining us, filling us in on life in New York.
Yep. And we will get back with him later in a couple of episodes, probably in June. We'll have him on again because we're going to New York. You best believe it. Even if this is going down, me and Drew will be in New York. We will be coronavirusing it up if we have to. If that concert is on, we will be there.
I mean, if he's playing, I'm going. So,
All right, guys.
All right. This has been another episode of the Sorry If You're Offended podcast, and we will talk to you guys next week. I'm Scott.
and I'm Drew.
And go ahead, Dakota.
Oh, and I'm Dakota.
Yeah. And thanks, guys.
Take care.
Sorry. 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 If you're offended, sorry. 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 If you're offended, sorry.